Us. Then we now run out. So the house collapsed. We tried to rescue. We only rescued two. We only about the rescue the rest. The house now collapsed. All we were not able to get anyone. So during that process, we called nearby neighbors. We followed around, look for shovel and digger to excavate the whole place before we now get the 6 dead bodies.
As the rain was falling, the erosion now started entering our house. So we now say we should pack some things out. As we were packing, the erosion now go and dig up one palm tree, and others coconut tree. Come on, lay on my house, and our house collapsed. Everybody there was inside the house, so people in that area started digging all the sand to remove. Even me, I was there also. They dig the sand to remove me.
Now, suspected sect members have attacked 2 towns in Borno State, killing 20 people in the process. The suspected Boko Haram members started their attack by opening fire in a market and killing 15 people in Garaji local government area of Borno State. At a neighboring village, 5 others were also killed. Reports say that the gunmen who pretended to be traders attending a local market came aboard trucks, while others came on foot to beat the security checks at the entrance of the town. They then blended among traders conducting business before opening fire in the market. The National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, have underscored the importance of proper orientation in the face of the current security challenges in the country. At a session held at the Federal Secretariat Enugu, the zonal coordinator, Bamidele Onimode, also highlighted the need for workers to be armed with valuable tips to assist in emergency response situations. So, NEMA staged a mock disaster situation. A bomb was detonated in a nearby building to the Secretariat. Sirens blared. Emergency vehicles and officers of various national security agencies run helter-skelter to assist in evacuating victims of the blast.
Hey. Let's go. Yeah.
And his stakeholders on his routine exercise. You don't need to panic, hold your peace.
But this drama was to prepare the civil servants for the real deal.
The idea is to prepare our mind for this kind of thing if it can't happen.
The zonal coordinator, Dr. Onimode, said it was in view of that fact the NEMA, in its coordinating and collaborative effort with other security outfits, maintains that there are things workers should know and do before emergency, and also actions employers should take to ensure safe evacuation of workers.
50% of the people that die in the explosion are victims that are not even at the site of the explosion. When you hear an emergency and you don't have a directive as to where you should move to, there is a need for all of us to consciously identify a place as our muster point.
People need to be aware of their surroundings and events as they unfold, so that we will not fall victim easily if we lose certain things at certain times.
If there is any explosion, you don't rush to the scene, please. Because, for example, as you are rushing to the scene, the second explosion, which is called secondary explosion, can happen and affect you.
The workers were asked questions, got clearance from relevant authorities, and were given more tips that will ensure safety in case of a disaster. It will no longer be business as usual for suppliers of substandard diagnostic agents in the country. Now, that's the message from the Minister of Health, Professor Onyebuchi Chukwu, at the commissioning of the Public Health in Vitro Diagnostic Control Laboratory in Lagos. Professor Chukwu explained that the facility will aid the detection of fake products, and this should strengthen the regulatory functions of the laboratory body in Nigeria. The Registrar of the Medical Laboratory Science Council of Nigeria, Professor Anthony Emeribe, also emphasized that only consumables that meet international standards will be imported.
Reports that over 50% of public health in vitro diagnostics in Nigeria, test kits, equipment, reagents, chemicals, etc., in the open market are substandard, fake, expired or poorly stored and distributed, as compared to less than 70% for fake or substandard drugs and food products, are very worrisome. Council has also mapped out a comprehensive policy to ensure that henceforth only in vitro diagnostics, including equipment, kits, reagents, chemicals, and other consumables that meet international standards, will be allowed to be manufactured, imported, distributed, or stored and used in the country.
This facility being commissioned today will obviously strengthen the regulatory function of the Medical Laboratory Science Council of Nigeria with respect to the verification, validation, listing, and registration of in vitro laboratory diagnostics and the attainment of its key performance indicators, which must necessarily be similar to those of other regulatory agencies in the country.
After the break, 5 state chairmen of the PDP asked INEC to deregister the People's Democratic Movement. Details on that in a bit. Please stay with us.
A time comes in the life of every race when people are driven by echoes of the past to chart a course for an exalted future. Africa is at this threshold as major actors in the Africa arena plot a renaissance towards common destiny. Let's pedal across the streams of yesterday, from the back streets of Africa to the defining roles of policymakers, the political realities of the African nation, balance of power, and the strive to sustain national interest and identity. Join us on Network Africa on Channels Television. Network Africa, the rallying point for the emergence of a new Africa.
Glad to have you back for all our top stories and other programs. You can find that on our website. It's channelstv.com and on youtube.com/channelsweb. To get us on the move, visit m.channelstv.com to view us live on an iPad, iPhone or BlackBerry. You can also download the Channels TV app for Android and Nokia 920 devices from their respective stores. 5 state chairmen of the PDP in the Southwest have asked the Federal High Court in Abuja to order the Independent National Electoral Commission, that's INEC, to deregister the People's Democratic Movement, PDM. The state chairman of the PDP in Lagos, Ogun, Ondo, Osun and Oyo states want the court to determine whether by the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as amended and the Electoral Act 2010, INEC can validly register PDM as a political party when the purpose for which such registration was sought was to destabilize the PDP. The politicians also want the court to determine whether INEC can accord any recognition to Mr. Kawu Baraje and Mr. Olagunsoye Oyinola as national officers of the PDP, especially when they are at the same time promoters of PDM. The applicants further urged the court for a perpetual injunction restraining PDM from continuing to parade the men as leaders or national officers of the PDP. They also hold that the tenure of Mr. Baraje as acting national chairman expired in March 2011 and that Mr. Oyinola was removed as the national secretary of the PDP by court judgment on January the 11th, 2013. Less than 24 hours after the national chairman of the PDP, Bamanga Tukuru, read the riot act to the breakaway faction, the Baraje faction is hit back with the threat of a jail term. The national chairman of the new PDP, Abubakar Baraje, says Mr. Tukuru has flouted court orders. In a statement signed by the Secretary, Mr. Olagunsoye Oyinola, the faction says, quote, "We will ask the court to commit him to jail for his